Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. This is Leslie. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I am going to be making a layout with Horizon from Pink Paisley, Paige Evans, and you can see there that I've cut one of the pattern papers out with all the words on it, and I am going to be backing all of those little words with some foam adhesive, some little foam squares. Now, some of the little bits that needs to be popped up are too small for the size foam squares that I have, so I do cut them in half, and then they fit perfectly behind the letters. So I'm just going to be bringing this up to the camera so that you can see the dimension that gave, and it looks, once I stick the photo on top, it looks like the photo is floating, which is really what I wanted to get with this effect that I wanted to get with this layout. So the photo that I'm going to be scrapping is of my dad and my kids in front of the Burj Khalifa. Now the Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world currently. I know that there's another building being built in Saudi, and it will be the tallest in a couple of years, but this one is still the tallest. So I took out a couple of those little journaling, well, they're not really journaling cards, little pocket page cards that's in a cut apart sheet from the collection, and I cut them all apart, and I am going to be using these little my Tim Holtz fussy cutting scissors just to cut out the little suitcases. I really didn't think that I was going to be using that little card for anything other than fussy cutting it. So I'm also going to be using that little sticker from the 6x12 sticker sheet just to pop it up on top of the suitcases so that there is something else in that open space on the photo. I really wanted to use this globe, travel new roads, the globe said. So I'm also going to be using some stickers, some little phrases from the 6x12 sticker sheet, and I'm just popping them onto the top right hand corner, of my photo. Now there's lots of open space in this photo, the sky, because you have to angle the camera a certain way so that you can get the entire building in, and you can see that my kids and my dad is really small on the photos, but at least the Burj Khalifa is in there. Well, everything that I wanted in there is in there in any case. So yes, I do end up just popping up that little the bottom left hand corner of the photo on some foam squares, as well as the bit that was going to overlap or run off the photo, the suitcases. Yes. I'm not making a lot of sense today, and I'm saying a lot, so just bear with me, but you get what I'm saying. So yeah, so everything is now nicely popped up on some foam squares, and everything is floating the way I wanted it to float. So I wanted to bring in some black, and I thought the best way to bring in some black was to add some doodly lines, but I didn't want real straight doodly lines, well, like with a ruler. So what I did is I just put the ruler down as a guide, and then I drew with my Sharpie just along the ruler. I didn't press the Sharpie against the ruler, so I didn't have that real crisp straight line that you usually get when you use a ruler. I just had, it was just to make sure that I wasn't going to go completely off the rails. So, and that worked really well, and I like the effect that this gave as well. it looks really cool in the end. As you can see there, I just had to go make space for the little letters that I didn't want to go over with my Sharpie. So I do doodle around my photo as well, just to make it stand out a little bit more, and to also just to incorporate more of those doodly lines. I just wanted a bit more of a cohesive look to this layout. So I also felt that I needed to doodle around that little journaling card at the back of my photo. I really liked the way that little journaling card ended up at the back of my photo. It brought in a little floral. I did want to bring in some flowers. You'll see me bringing out the flowers soon, some of those beautiful cluster flowers in the collection, but I don't end up using the flowers in this layout in any case. So, and this layout is a travel themed collection. Well, yeah, the layout is, but the collection that I'm using is a travel themed collection. So this worked absolutely perfect for what I was going for. See there, I'm bringing out the cluster flowers, and they're just not working. So I wanted to bring in this little 3x4 card, and I decided I was going to fussy cut that globe out and use it on the layout as well. Now, I don't know if you guys, I have spoken about this before, but for those who haven't watched that video, I can't even remember on which video I did discuss it, but discussed some tips and tricks about fussy cutting. I have these little Tim Holtz scissors, and they are the best scissors for fussy cutting by far. They have these little, the one blade is just a normal scissor blade. It's just flat and sharp. And the other blade is sort of serrated. And it works so well because as you cut, it's almost like you've got to click over to the next little serrated bit, the next spoke. It's like a bicycle. So you've got to click over to the next spoke, and it prevents your scissor from slipping or from you cutting into a bit that you don't want to cut into. So it's really, it's just an awesome little scissors. I actually want to get the bigger ones as well. I think the bigger ones will sit better in my hand. These ones, they are very comfortable. These are also the most comfortable scissors I've ever worked with. But I think the bigger ones will sit easier in my hand. So I am going to be using some Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine. Now I know the Gold Color Shine is out of production. It's been for about a year or two. You don't get it anymore. But I know Shimmers Paints has a little pot, or is it it's called Minor 49er or something like that. And that is also quite a vivid gold, and it shimmers obviously a lot. So if you don't have any gold, you can always just pop up to Shimmers and get yourself some. So I decided that I needed something to keep my layout together and to frame my layout. So I'm going to be using my Sharpie again, and just going to draw some more doodly lines, and that sort of creates a frame for the layout, and it sort of looks like a picture frame that I created, and I really like the way that looks. I'm going to be doing a little bit of journaling on there with my fine pen. These pens, I'm not sure what they're called, but they are awesome. Anyway, so the journaling is just about us standing in front of my kids and my dad standing in front of the Burj Khalifa. And this is it for this layout. I'll see you again soon. Bye.